Landscape Ontario is really proud to be able to connect with our partners and friends over at People Corporation, who makes up part of the HortProtect program offered through the Canadian Nursery Landscape Association and Landscape Ontario. Now, it's no secret that across the trade, everyone is dealing with a common issue, and that's nowhere enough people to do the work. And from what I gather, this has been a perennial challenge now, fairly well exacerbated by the historic demand on landscape services as a result of people being home through the pandemic, and wanting to enhance their outdoor living spaces. Lower enrollment in landscape programs and less people entering the trade in general is also compounding now this critical labor challenge. Landscape Ontario and the Canadian Nursery Landscape Association has been working tirelessly on this file, seeking guidance and direction, all while putting significant resources to move the needle. Through a great work with the GROW program, which you may have heard of, immense work through apprenticeship, advocacy for temporary foreign workers, employee healthcare benefits, and outsourced HR services. We know to get good long-term employees, it's important to offer employee health benefits. And that's why we're here today. And we have the fantastic team from People Corporation. We have Pamela Coos and her team, and we'll get Pamela to introduce everyone to help us understand what the offering is for our health benefits through People Corporation and HortProtect. And so know that this is an endorsed program through Landscape Ontario and the Canadian Nursery Landscape Association, and we've put significant due diligence into vetting out this program, and Pamela and her team have been part of this program for a very long time. So without further ado, Pamela, I'd love to have you introduce yourself and your team before we get going into your slide deck.
Thanks, Joe, and good morning to everybody else. I'm so glad and appreciative that you've taken time out of your day to connect with us and give us the opportunity to go into a little bit more detail with you today as to what's available for you. My name is Pamela Coos, and I am the benefits broker for the HortProtect program. One second, screen just went weird on me there. So I just wanted to touch base with you guys and let you know that I've been with People Corporation for 6 years, and we'll go into more detail as to what the program is and all its offerings. And I have my robust team with me that supports me. More often or not, you'll see myself and Laura at different chapter meetings and trade shows, but you don't often get the opportunity to see the team that's supporting us back at the office. So we've got them all on the call today, and we're all going to get our wonder moment of a minute, but we'll be able to walk through that. And the reason why we're taking this approach today is because we want to give you the opportunity to have a dialogue conversation with us. We want more time for conversational communications, ask questions, and give us each of the specialists the time to dive in and to hit home on some of those. And if any of the questions that come in that might be specific to your group that we can't answer generically, then we'll just take that offline and reach out to you afterwards. So with no further ado, what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip into my slide presentation, and then at that point in time is when we're going to see my team, and as their appropriate time comes up, they'll be able to do a quick introduction of who they are and then the offerings that they offer. One moment, please.
Well, Pamela is bringing up the slide deck. Just know that we are recording today's session, and if you do have questions, please do put those in the chat. We will do our absolute best to make sure that we get to all of your questions and make sure that we're addressing everybody.
Okay, we're good there. I can proceed.
Yeah, we've got your screen.
Awesome, fantastic. So again, we're People Corporation, and we are the brokers with the HortProtect program, as Joe has already explained thus far. Here on the call today, myself, Martina Groom actually is not with us, but if you are a current client of ours, you'll know that you'll work closely with her, and she's been fantastic with the program. She probably wouldn't want me to say this, but approaching maybe 17 years. So her name will be familiar if you've dealt with us in the past. We have Laura, a benefits consultant, Brenda, who looks after the healthcare spending account, Lewis, looking after Collage HR, Steve, who will talk to and address the group retirement solution offerings, Amanda, who will talk about the specialized platforms that we have, and Sarah, who will elaborate on the health solutions. So a bit of history on the HortProtect program and where it was stemmed and how it came into fruition. So back in 1984, the CNLA office, Canadian Nursery Landscape Association, had a conversation with my former boss, Mike Thomas, and they then developed this program or thought idea to put an insurance program together for the membership. And what I can say from that point going forward, it's been a strong collaborative relationship whereby it is still remaining in place for sustainability, and we've been able to address the needs that you guys would face in your profession. We're blending the gap between if you were to go on individually to a carrier, so we kind of hash out some of those nuances on your behalf and have put together a sound association program for you. It is the largest in its kind, and we are the original benefits consultants from the beginning. We have over 350 groups nationally right now, and that is growing exponentially as we see the growing need to be able to, for employers to see that they need benefits in place for their employees. Just to highlight a couple of the features of part of the program, one of the areas where the concerns are met is when I see someone passing me at one of the trade shows and I stop to have a conversation, the first thing they say to me is, oh, we're too small. So we're here to combat that idea that you're never too small and you're never too big for us to be able to source the appropriate solution for you. We have customization offerings that will be able to address your particular needs, understanding that not one size fits all, and we understand that. We work with you. The idea of having seasonal benefit coverage in place. So this really helps a lot of companies because where we understand that for most part, you're running 8 months of the year. Some of you will run 12 months. So this will enable you to have coverage in place all year round for your employees if you choose. Having a program that has a robust emergency medical travel coverage in place is really important, especially from this time of year when, well, not now, because right now you guys are kicking off and for your season, but we're just coming out of the downtime for yourself. And if outside of COVID, you probably would have been heading south. So having trip cancellation and trip coverage is key. The other thing that I'll address is that we've been supporting you locally for years, since 1984. We're at the different chapter meetings and different opportunities of golf tournaments and trade shows. So we're here to support you, not only just in the employee benefit space, but to help grow your association as well. And how do we support you? I named a few already, but this is just a bit of a list that we'll go through, and in this presentation and on this call, you'll have more in-depth conversations around some of the line items. So looking at it from the point of view of life insurance, health and dental coverage, travel insurance, health solutions for your employees, disability coverage, employee assistance programs, healthcare spending accounts, the Collage HR platform space, the digital support, and group retirement. So at this point in time, I'm going to hand this over to Laura, and Laura can be able to expand upon the offerings through People Advantage.
Thanks, Pamela. I'm Laura Rambliss. I've been in the industry for about 10 years, and I've been working with Pamela for 2.5 years in the CNLA and Landscape Ontario Association space. So I've been trying to grow the program and promote it as well to members. Maybe next slide. Thanks, Pamela. So as a national consulting firm, we've been able to leverage our size and scale to create preferred partnerships for our member companies and their employees. The main one is pharmacy. So it's not mandatory to go to any of these providers if you are a client, but it is a great way to save some money, right? Most plans have a point of sale co-insurance. So by reducing the dispensing fees and drug markups, employees will be less out of pocket at each purchase of drugs. And it also contributes to the overall sustainability of the plan. As Pamela mentioned, there's about 350 companies. So if people are using these programs to save money on their drug claims, it does help with the sustainability year over year as well. So to incentivize members to go to and use these benefits, we do tie in a retail shopping discount. So for instance, at Rexall, employees would save 20% on any kind of branded purchase there. So, you know, Kleenex or toilet paper, whatever they buy there, just to incentivize them a bit to go and use those benefits. Most drug plans are mandatory generic as well. So we do have programs to help employees and their dependents get partial or full coverage for a brand name drug, which is important to some people. We also help stretch the benefit dollars as well. So within the vision space, we use Iris. They offer savings on lenses and frames. So this really helps employees and their dependents stretch their vision coverage, as well as in the speech therapy space. So there is a virtual platform that we can offer members, and they do save 10%. So that helps stretch their speech therapy dollars if their dependents are needing those services as well. I'm going to hand it off now, I think, to Health Solutions.
Thank you, Laura, for that. I appreciate the time, and I apologize for the dog barking in the background, as you probably all have heard it. Yeah, so at this point in time, Sarah, if you can bring us up to speed as what's happening with the Health Solutions.
Thanks, Pamela. So my name is Sarah Abdelnour. I'm the Director of Health Solutions in Ontario. People Corporation, I've been working in the workplace health promotion and strategy field for about 20 years now, which hurts me a little bit to say. But Pamela, if you want to advance. Great, thank you. So we offer a variety of health solutions that, to Pamela's point before, scalable to any size organization. So starting off with our value-added services, which do not have fees. They include health education and awareness campaigns through the My Wellness Connection. This is a monthly email that's deployed by our team on the first business day of each month. As well as online cognitive learning programs through Self-Help Works. In this platform is really aimed to help members improve lifestyle habits in order to reduce the risk of chronic disease. Moving into our some of our fee for service offerings, this is our People Connect suite of services. So People Connect is really a one-stop shop mental health platform where people can find accessible and affordable virtual counseling. So affordable virtual counseling is key here because it can help stretch mental health clinician dollars that are available through a plan. Our People Connect Total Health program layers a couple of additional services on top of People Connect, and those are virtual care and digital pharmacy. And then we have People Connect Care Path. So this also takes our People Connect mental health platform and layers on additional elements such as medical second opinion, health navigation, and comprehensive cancer support. And lastly, our health coaching program, going back to chronic disease prevention, is an affordable option for members to receive one-on-one counseling with a clinician, so registered dietitian or certified diabetes educator. And this again is meant to help reduce risk for chronic disease or manage chronic disease where there's already a diagnosis.
Thank you so much, Sarah. I appreciate that overview. And just as a reminder, I know this is going to seem a little bit quick because we're just touching base through this presentation. Any questions that you might have, we're going to answer, and we're going to try to hopefully stir up some questions as we go through the slide deck. At this point in time, we're going to ask Louis to come on and give us his overview of Collage HR.
Thank you, Pamela. Hello, everyone. So my name is Louis Custodio. I'm with the Collage team. I've been with the team for 6 years now. Collage started in 2016. I'm employee number 4. And Collage created a solution built in Canada for Canadian businesses. From the start, integrated an HR online experience for small business employers integrated with group benefits management. So similar to what Pamela said at the beginning, I want to kind of dispel this idea that, in HR, software may be something for large companies, large employers. It's actually a solution made for small employers. The Collage average client size is around 20 employees. We have companies of up to 200 employees as clients. So that means that most of our clients are teams of 5, 10, 15 people. And in the landscaping industry, there's a huge case for the use of technology. So I'll try to break it down in 3 important steps, and hope that if you have any questions, you can bring them to me after, as we go through the presentation. So number 1 is we can digitize your group benefits experience. The administration, the enrollments can be made digital, so no paper forms to chase employees after, which can be a hassle. We can digitize that process for you, integrated with HR and payroll collection information for new hires. Someone mentioned at the beginning, I think it was Joe that mentioned the sometimes the option of hiring employees from other countries, right, temporarily to come to Canada and work. You can use a digital enrollment solution to collect signatures, send job offers, collect documents, collect information from these people from anywhere in the world. So whatever they are, if it's close to you in Ontario or if it's in a different country, you can use digital enrollments to collect all that information in a secure manner and store it securely in our platform, all integrated with the group benefits side of things, so that benefits is never forgotten. You never run into any double entry issues or forgetting any processes related to welcoming a new hire. So maintaining secure employment records is incredibly important now. Many things changed during the pandemic, so the need to go digital to access information from anywhere and to maintain secure employee records is as important as it's ever been. So that's what the Collage solution is all about. It's about you have a payroll, you have a benefits plan, or maybe you're looking at getting one. We can put something in the middle that brings that all together and helps you secure all that very sensitive employment data and helps you collect from anywhere when you're hiring new employees, and also helps you terminate and then reinstate and terminate and reinstate employees, because it's a seasonal business. Make it very, very easy for you to do that process over and over again. And all of that included in the HortProtect plan. So if you have any questions, please ask them when we're finished with the presentation, and I'll be happy to address them. Thank you.
Thanks, Louis. That was fantastic. And another reminder I'll just note now is that there's a demo that you guys can watch as well to get more information on the breakdown of it. And just wanted to point that out. Thanks, Louis.
Thank you.
So at this point in time, I want to introduce Brenda Brown, who looks after our healthcare spending accounts. She's not new to the program, but this will probably be her first debut of getting on in front of you guys. And so Brenda, at this point, I'll hand it off to you.
Hi, good morning, everybody. My name is Brenda Brown, and I've been with People Corp the last, I guess it's going on 10 years now, but I've been in the business with ProSure for, I'm coming up to my 34th anniversary, because I started when I was 10 full-time for sure. We do offer the health spending accounts. We've probably got, I'm going to say 20 to 30, and about 5 of them coming on just this month. So it's been a busy month, and I've been dealing with a lot of the different companies. A health spending account gives employees some flexibility. It can be added to a regular group plan, or it can be a standalone plan. It seems to really work for a lot of the landscape companies because of the short time that especially the laborers are working. So it can give them a benefit that sometimes the insurance companies can't offer because of the amount of hours that they're working. The plan sponsor is aware of the complete costs, so it's something that's controlled and contained by them.
Thank you very much, Brenda. That's awesome. That's a great overview. Appreciate that. Moving along. So in September past, we were able to move our platform onto the digital space. And at this point in time, I'm going to ask Amanda to come on and just do a high overview of what that means for an employee and an employer's experience.
Awesome. Thanks, Pam. Good morning, everyone. I'm Amanda Fillin. I'm the Director of Specialized Services at People Corporation. I've been with the company for about 17 years now. And I focus mainly on, the implementation of clients, amendments to existing clients, transition onto the platforms, reviewing and enhancing the digital platforms that plan admins and our members have access to. So with the People Corporation plan, we do have a dedicated member portal and app that the members do have access to. Same functionality across both, really simple, streamlined, easy to use, and it gives the members a lot of information at their fingertips wherever they are. With the app and the mobile site, they're able to submit their claims online. They can set up direct deposit to get their payments more quickly. We've got a ton of coverage information on there. So they can find their maximums, they can find what they're covered for, they can see what balances they have left, what claim status is, if it's process paid, pending, if we're looking for more information. And if there's a dashboard that they can actually customize some of the most common things that they use that they want to see when they log in. They can go in and they can set up those maximums. Or sorry, those dashboards. Our plan sponsor site gives the plan administrators who wish to self-serve a ton of things, a ton of access. They can pull their bills, they can pull member reports, they can make all member changes, additions, terminations, salary changes, those kind of things. They can view premium amounts, they can see adjustments in real time for changes that they're making, and everything that they do process on the system is in real time. So it comes up right away and feeds over to our system right away. They do get notifications. So overage dependent notifications do go out, when a member reaches age 65 or just before age 65 and coverage is going to reduce or terminate, letters do go out advising the members of that. So they're always aware of what's going on with their benefit plan. So yeah, tons of information. All of our health solutions information is on the member portal. Any documents related to travel, who to call, where to go. So a lot of information for the members there. And, at some point, if we want to do a quick demo, we can certainly do that. But for now, I will leave it at that.
Awesome. Thank you, Amanda.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great platform for us to be able to have and to use with you guys. And we've seen a lot of good feedback for those that are on it. Some are hesitant to make the switch sometimes, but those that are onboarding, they're enjoying it. So thanks again, Amanda.
Mm-hmm.
So without further ado, last but definitely not least, when we're talking from the holistic approach of an employee rewards program, so we're moving away from the concept of just being employee benefits, rewards meaning that it can be a comprehensive, fully insured program, or we can do the healthcare spending accounts like Brenda had spoken to, or we also talk about the idea of what it is for group retirement solutions for your employees. We have Steve on the call with us today who will walk us through what those are. So welcome, Steve.
Thank you very much. If you could just move the slide forward. So, as Pam mentioned, and actually as Joe mentioned a little bit earlier, I think that, there's been a real struggle to attract and retain employees and even reward some longstanding employees as well. So, really having that robust, full employee benefits program, I think is going to be a real helpful solution for that. And a big part of that is going to include that retirement plan. And I've been in the business for about 25 years. And I've been with People Corporation for the last 2.5. I've seen more startup programs or new programs over the last year, 8 months or so. And I think it's really a direct result of that real competition for talent and individuals and businesses really getting deliberate about their approach to that full employee benefits package. So what we're able to offer is a program that is a turnkey solution. So it's really simple to implement. It's easy to administer on an ongoing basis. We'll also do all the monitoring to make sure that it's compliant with all the different rules and regulations. And there's also some great flexibility with these types of programs as well. So while I do mention that it's a turnkey solution that's simple and it got some easy to implement, there is also that flexibility so that we can customize the program to meet your needs and the needs of your employees as well.
Thanks, Steve. That's fantastic to hear. Turnkey is always a key word, making it simple and easy for onboarding, and the fact that you look after the compliance side of things is fantastic. Thank you. So that concludes our presentation this morning, but doesn't conclude the town hall. So at this point in time, I'll say thank you for the opportunity for us to give us the overview, and we'll stop sharing my screen and hand it over to you, Joe.
Yeah, thanks, Pamela, and fantastic overview. It's one of those things where you start talking about health benefits insurance and how does it all work, and to be able to see the level of commitment from People Corporation. The fact that you have your entire team here, or representation of your team here, because I know that the team's actually much bigger than this, is fantastic as well. But I'm wondering, and I'd like to kind of start off a conversation. And when I introduce things, I kind of set the frame of employee benefits in the connected to attracting great people and keeping the great people that we have on our teams. So how does a landscape company or a garden center or a nursery, part of the Landscape Ontario community, how do we leverage what we have with People Corporation to attract and retain the great people that we have within our community?
It's a very great question. So what I would say at the very beginning is, let's sit down and evaluate where it is that the company wants to go and what it is the company wants to offer to the employees. Because sometimes people assume that whether they're too big, too small, or maybe that they have to take this particular program, or it's all or nothing. So that break down the misconceptions of what they might have of what a rewards program is, and then bring insight, like we've kind of heard already, about the opportunities that are there. So we're talking, you want, maybe it's employees that was with you for a long time and you need a certain customized plan for those employees. We'll work with you and give you what that looks like. And then if we're talking about hiring new employees, well, because it is what it is. Insurance is expensive, but there are rewards. The ROI on it is good, and you just want to make sure that you create a healthy balance between what the expenditures are going to be and what the benefits to the employee would be. So what we do is we would develop out different plans that would meet the needs for the different employees potentially within the company, and then we would resource and tap into whether it be the health solution component side of things, because we want to make sure that the employees are supported at all levels. I mean, the employer sees it from the remuneration side and for implementing benefits, but then we also want to make sure their wellness is there from the health perspective is there. Feel free for anyone else who wants to jump in.
Yeah, I can just add something too, right? Like employers can structure, they can cost share with the employee as well, right? So maybe at the beginning of their career, the employee pays more, right, of the premium, but as their years of service increase, the employer's portion of the cost can go up as well, right? So that could incentivize people to stay with the companies longer as well.
Timer perspective as well, what I've noticed is that, and one of the things you can do, and I talked about, is having some flexibility within the program. What I've seen more and more clients start to do is use years of service to increase the contributions. So as maybe the first 2 years you'll get sort of 2%, and then it'll go up to 3 or 4%, and then so forth and so on as you want to be able to reward those employees that have a long standing with you and can retain them as well.
Great way to look at that.
Yeah. Sorry, just wanted to add one thing with the healthcare spending accounts. We've been seeing that a lot. A lot of the times they're changing their classes to reflect the years of service. So it entices someone to come back the following year. The first year they may have a $500 benefit. Coming back, they may end up with a $750 benefit, and after the third year, a $1,000 benefit type of thing. So again, using years of service to entice those people to come back the following year.
I would also add that what's happening overall in our healthcare system, depending on, like, with 2 years of backlog surgeries and being able to see your doctor and things like that, I think people in Canada really value when an organization fills the gap. The public system still needs to catch up. So whatever organizations can do to help people access support quickly, a lot of Canadians really do value that through their employer.
Yeah, great points. Thank you. Now, Landscape Ontario has a fantastic community and really broad spectrum from different services that are offered in different sizes of companies. But a good portion of them are smaller landscape businesses. The myth that exists out in the marketplace is that employee benefits are for large companies, and really for the small companies, it's not something that they would generally even qualify for. Pamela, can you and your team kind of speak to that and talk about what you guys are doing for those smaller companies?
For sure. So when it comes to the smaller companies, you're going to get the same service from us in the sense of we're going to be able to establish and customize and report and get back to you. The larger you grow, there's more tiers of reports that are due to you because of just the size of the economy of it. But if you're a one life mom and pop company where it's just the owners and that's all it is, it's there that need the benefits, well, you're not going to be excluded from the offerings that we have. There's no medical evidence required on the onboarding, which is fantastic that you'd have access to group benefits as a group of one. Normally in the industry, you'll see we can put small groups together for like 5 and under, but then medical evidence would be then required. And then potentially, what if some of those employees happen to leave? Then you potentially no longer are eligible or qualify. That doesn't happen with us. You come in the fold, you're part of the family, we look after you. Whether you're that larger group or that group of one, you still have that access to Collage HR. So this is fantastic. If anything, like Lewis was speaking to earlier, the HR platform space of having those resources at your fingertips help you run your business better, because therefore you're not spending so much time in an area that's may not be even at your specialty. You get to go out and do what you do best and let the platform do the work for you. So these efficiencies and paths that we've put out together for these smaller groups, we just need to get the communication out to you guys that it's for you. There's no limitations, and we'll service you.
Excellent.
Sorry, I'll just make a quick comment. Thanks for the opportunity there, Pamela. On the comment before, for example, right, you're talking about the possibility of having employees progress in terms of their coverage with the years of service at the company, right? That's something that's very easy to track in a platform like Collage, very easy to forget, very hard to track if you're using spreadsheets and shared calendars. But in a platform like Collage, you can just automate that kind of tasks and reminders over time so that your administration, the HR, the people administration around benefits, payroll, and HR is all digital and automated. So it makes for a cleaner operation, less errors, which employees appreciate, and administrators just save time with all that.
Excellent point. Thank you, Lewis. So if we think about a good amount of members of Landscape Ontario likely don't have health benefit coverage, and given where we are in the season, here we are beginning of April, their mindset really isn't focused on implementing a health benefit plan at the moment. But what would you be able to tell them from an implementation perspective if they called your team in the next few days, Pamela? What would they look at from an implementation perspective, from initial phone call to having set up their team with health benefits? And what kind of time frame would that be?
Sure. Right away, I'll say, yes, we can do it. That's my short answer. Yeah. Followed up by the implementation process in general is about 20 business days to get the back end paperwork up and running. But that doesn't mean benefits can't start sooner than that, right? There's just, it just means you don't have your drug cards and everything in hand, but the more that they go online to the digital platform, they'll have access to that stuff much quicker. If you live in the paper world, it just takes a little bit longer to get it to you because you got to snail mail you stuff. If I was to do a quick overview, what that would look like is I'd have a discussion with you to see what it is that you actually need, because I don't want to oversell you. Then we put together, I'd gather the employee information. So we're probably talking, I could get something up and running within the week. And then if it's a matter of having to get, if somebody, let's just say, has a medical need that they need to go to the dentist, so why bother wait till next month to start it? We can start it now and get, so they can be reimbursed for premiums, that type of thing. Ideally, we want 20 business days. for a smooth transition, but if there's a need out there because we understand the profession, we understand what's happening right now. And I will say my phone is ringing with exactly that. Hey, I'm hiring next week. I want to put this in a hiring contract. I need to retain. What can you do for me? So this is the conversation I've been having very strongly in the last month with a lot of you guys out there. So I appreciate the calls, and we're getting them set up.
Fantastic. And I mean, I think that's a pretty quick turnaround. So, and to know that that is a question that's coming in. I've had that question come in by phone from some members. So thank you for answering that one.
I'll just didn't mean to interrupt you, but just from a retirement perspective, I just wanted to sort of give you an idea on some of those timeframes in and around the implementation. From sort of start to finish, we'd want to look at about sort of six weeks. There is a little bit of registration that we have to do with CRA and a few other things, so it takes a little bit longer for us to sort of get that program up and running. But depending on the complexity of the plan, you're probably looking at anywhere from about 6 to 8 weeks from the day you make the decision to have the plan to the day that it's implemented and people are starting to receive assets into their accounts.
Excellent. Thanks for that, Steve. Really appreciate that. I know Brenda had given us an overview of healthcare spending accounts, and we've seen more and more companies in the Landscape Ontario community kind of implement healthcare spending accounts. What are some of the ins and outs of healthcare spending accounts that we should know? I mean, Brenda, you gave us a great overview, but what are some of the things that we should know and kind of be careful of as we start to get more and more into those types of benefit offerings?
With the healthcare spending account, it can be very flexible, but there are rules under CRA that have to be followed. So a lot of people think that getting a health spending account is going to allow them to put any type of benefit through, and that's not correct. There are certain benefits that cannot be put through a health spending account. So we give clients a list of that. Again, a lot of people think they can start with one amount at the beginning of the year and change that throughout the year. They can't. It's a set amount for that year and won't be changed until the following renewal. But it does give them the flexibility to make whatever change they want on the following renewal, increasing maximums. This has been by far the busiest year. Sitting on this call, there's a number of emails that are coming through with people wanting to start on April 1st and May 1st. And we're accommodating that for them as quickly as we can.
That's great.
That's probably because I'm saying, yes, we can. Here you go, Brenda.
That's what we love about our partnership. You know, you guys just absolutely make it happen, and that's fantastic. There's a lot of things that go along with health care benefits, and you know, the pandemic certainly hasn't been forgiving when it comes to mental health and well-being. Can you talk about some of the coverages that are offered from a mental health perspective, and maybe even touch on some of the paramedical coverages that are included as part of that?
Did you want to talk about it from the side of mental health, or do you want me?
Maybe you could start with the coverage that's available, and then I can dovetail off of that.
Yeah, for sure. So depending on how we build out your plan, because each plan is tailored to the need, right? But in general, if we're talking with the mental health space, what happens is we connect the services that are on your program with if you were to choose to implement People Connect, and then we can, and then Sarah will elaborate how that works, the connectivity between the two. But the mental health space is so important to have access to. And if I was to go step back a little bit here and talk a bit the difference between the fully insured and versus the healthcare spending account side of things, it's not saying that one is necessarily better than the other. It's just more awareness as to what the two offerings are. And I said, we need to have a clear understanding that when we move away from fully insured, healthcare spending accounts are great. They're flexible. They're set amount of dollars. They're fantastic for budgeting, for cost, for knowing year over year what your expenditures are going to be. But it's not necessarily encompassing of the unforeseen, the insurance component of things. So in the insurance, fully insured side of things, this is where we look at the medical health space. And then if it happens to go up and beyond what's on the fully insured side, then you can take, whether it be a chiropractor, massage, a psychologist, whatever those fees might be that fall into that paramedical category, and offset it by submitting it through the healthcare spending account. But you want to be able to utilize what's part of the fully insured side of things before you do that. But once we've established the parameters of what's included in your particular program, I'll let Sarah talk about how it's connected through the People Connect.
Yeah, so depending on the type of mental health clinicians that are covered under a plan, so whether it's a combination of clinical counselors, social workers, psychologists, we will tag that to the back end of the People Connect platform, so that when people are presented with a listing of potential clinicians, they're only presented with the ones for which they have coverage. So it adds a little bit of extra confidence in terms of the user being able to access only what is covered under their plan versus going through a list and trying to figure that out on their own. But we find that People Connect, I mean, from an employer size standpoint, I would say the majority of our People Connect clients at this point are small to medium employers. So, and we do implement People Connect with those small groups effectively. So, yeah, it's a valuable platform. It also, like I mentioned earlier, gives people a little bit more breathing room in terms of stretching their benefit dollars in the mental health clinician space.
Yeah, that's a really important aspect, and we've seen that come up time and time again. So thank you so much for addressing that. I know we have some other folks in the audience here. If you do have questions, feel free to either unmute yourself or put your questions or comments in the chat. We absolutely want you to be able to ask all questions at this point. If I don't see any, then what I would like, Pamela, I do have something from Lewis, because a few weeks ago he gave us another demo of Collage HR, and I absolutely loved one of the features. I mean, Collage HR overall looks like a fantastic application, but especially as the landscape season is ramping up. So is the hiring and posting of available positions, and those available positions are plentiful. Collage HR has an applicant tracking system. Can you talk about that a little bit, Lewis?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Joe. I didn't mention it earlier, right? I try many times to focus on the essentials, which is let's organize your employee files and make sure they're secure. We're in an age where data security is hugely important. Small businesses are suffering hacker attacks all the time, and all that hackers want typically from a small business is the employment data, right? SIN numbers, bank accounts, full name, home address. There's a lot of value in that information. But apart from that, it is a full HR solution. So it includes an applicant tracking system that allows you to sync your Indeed account. Likely all of you use Indeed as a job board to attract candidates. And we know that Indeed is a great tool to produce a lot of applications, which means it can get messy and difficult to sort through all the applications you get. So what we do is we connect your Collage and your Indeed accounts so that people applying on Indeed, or actually one step before that, you create the job posting in Collage. We can sync that job posting with the careers page on your website. If you have one, we can easily make it so that you create the job posting in Collage and it shows up in your website and people can apply right there for the position. But at the same time, if we sync with Indeed, then that job posting gets pushed to Indeed. Candidates start applying on that job board and on your website and any other job boards where you put the link to your careers page. And then all of those applications come into the same place. We have pipelines for different positions where you'll see all the candidates organized. And then you have the option of sharing the project, speaking from the perspective of a business owner or a super administrator that has access to the full platform. You will have employees that will have limited access to information, of course, right? But some of them may be hiring managers, and then you can choose which projects you want to share with which people in your organization. So you can bring them in to help you review the candidates, leave their comments, approve, reject profiles, and then, you know, step by step, you push candidates down the funnel until you get to the stage where you're able to hire someone. In, you know, throughout the process, we help you maintain communication and track all the email exchanges with the candidate in one place. There's email templates for you to send quick breakup emails, you know, of the sort of thanks for applying, you know, not this time, or any other kind of message really that you want to automate. Background checks, if you run those, then we have a partnership that allows you to write in the pipeline. You can request background checks from a third-party provider. So just streamlines the whole process, helps you move faster. And that's the big point. We're talking about attracting and retaining talent, helps you move faster in the process, and possibly, you know, hire better talent if you get faster to the best candidates. So it is a very important tool. And then once you're finished with the hiring, you just click a button and you begin the whole digital onboarding. So you're going to collect digitally all that key employment information that you need to collect from a new hire. You can also send a job offer for that stage specifically. And then the back and forth, if there's a negotiation, you can adapt the offer. Once it's accepted by the candidate, you can collect their e-signature on the document, store that in the platform, and then begin the full onboarding experience. So all streamlined, all in one, and all of it digital, like I said, without having to, you know, have someone come to the office or use email for the collection of that sensitive information.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Louis. That was an incredible overview, and I can speak to it. So I've not used Collage HR to do this, but having a built-in applicant tracking system significantly reduces the amount of time to manage the recruiting process. That's fantastic. Thank you. Pamela and People Corporation team, any last kind of comments that you'd like the Landscape Ontario community to know about the great team you have and the services that you offer before we wrap up?
Yeah, so definitely will allow the team to share, but one of the things I want to touch base on is a lot of what we've been talking about is for employers who don't have employee benefits right now, and what it means for them to get set up and for using it as a retention tool, which is fantastic. But let's also have the conversation about those that do have benefits in place, and what does it mean today for them. So I want to say to those individuals, give us the opportunity. Let us do a review with you of your current plan that you have. Let's see if it aligns with your current today's objectives and goals. Because more often than not, what happens as the insurance world, it's tedious, it's paperwork. Once it's set up, you just kind of let it be and follow through. And every now and then the dust gets brushed off a bit, but let us have the opportunity to look at it with you. Let us do a review to see if it truly does align. And there's no obligation to have to switch, but then you can also, at this point in time, see the offerings we have, because again, it's not just about the insurance, it's the whole complete package that People Corporation brings to the table in its wellness, its holistic approach. And this is the area where we want to help your membership grow. It's not just let them go to the dentist and get their teeth cleaned and that type of thing. That's not the space that we want to live in. We want to look at it from a holistic approach. How can we service, help you guys, help your employees, grow your businesses, and be happy along the way? So this is an opportunity where we can look at that. At the beginning, you heard a lot of conversations about rewarding years of service, and this is where the group solution comes into play as well. Sometimes when you're hiring new young ones, they think they're a bit invincible, maybe that they don't need all that coverage, but encouraging them what the future me is going to look like. We all are going to get to that retirement age, thank God, and we'll be able to retire from working. So let's help them make some good choices now and to make them financially sound for the future. So at that point, I'll hand it off to someone else and see if they want to close out.
Yeah,
with
just add on to the retirement portion of that, because I think that really is something that we can definitely help with. For those plans that are in existence right now, one of the things that, we'd love the opportunity to take a look and review that program, just to make sure that, you're optimizing the plan and you're getting the most out of the fees and the services that are available to you. Also want to make sure that you're mitigating any risk, any potential for future risk as well, so that we're doing that monitoring and compliance around the program. And then I think the third thing too, that we'd want to make sure that, as Pam mentioned, this is really all about retiring at the end of the day and making sure you have that nest egg. So let's make sure that that those employees are getting the most out of the program for themselves, and we can do all that for you.
Right on. Great. So at that point, I'd like to say thank you, Pamela and your team. It really shows your commitment by seeing just all of you here and willing to share and impart your expertise and your knowledge. Really, you've all talked about some fantastic ways that Landscape Ontario members can level up their profile, organizational culture, and really the caring for the health and well-being of their people. And People Corporation can really help get you to where you want to be from that perspective. And we all know it's now more important than ever to be focused on the health and well-being of your people. That sentiment threaded throughout your company will attract good people who will want to work for you for years to come. So Pamela and the People Corporation team, thank you. And a very special thanks to Julissa Roden, Landscape Ontario's membership coordinator, for making this all happen behind the scenes. We're really happy to be able to present this to you today.